Alexandra Segev, thank you so much for joining me in this mini series, Startup Nation United. You're talking from France. The work that you're doing with an amazing group of people is really, really inspiring for many, many reasons. I know some of them very well. They're close friends, and you. And what's very, very incredible is the speed at which you've put this together, the impact this has already made with hundreds of thousands of dollars raised and the deployment of aid into really effective, meaningful impact in the ecosystem, I think is remarkable. And I'm excited to tell the story of what it is that you're doing with standing behind our people. Phenomenal name. So Alexandra, thank you again for joining me. Tell me a little bit about yourself, outside the context of this conflict and the war. Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Alexandra. I'm originally French, as you can hear from my accent. I moved to Israel 12 years ago. I made Aliyah, and I got married there. I'm a proud mother of 3 kids. And in life, I'm a tech entrepreneur. So my last venture was called BitShake, and we sold it like 2 years ago. And I'm a convinced Zionist and a very, very proud Jew. And probably that's the thing that defines me the most in all of the things I've told you.
Incredible. I love that. That's really beautiful. And obviously, the transitioning to October 7th morning caught all of us in different capacities in different times. Where did this catch you?
No one has words, okay? Everyone's in shock. Well, what I'm telling everyone is that usually when you speak to Israelis and you ask them how they're doing, they always say, "Yeh beseder, we'll be fine."
Yeah,
it's the first time that I'm speaking to people and they're not answering the question. So the pain is huge. Contrary to, I moved to Israel 12 years ago. The first war operation I lived was Tzuk Eitan in 2014. And I was very, very affected by this war because, I came to Israel. I was living freely in this land. I didn't serve in the army. And suddenly I was seeing soldiers being killed to protect my right of living freely as a Jew in Israel. And then I launched an initiative as well. They're a crowdfunding initiative. So it caught at the time my Zionist soul. Okay. But on the 7th of October, things were different. And what hurt was not only my Zionist soul, it was my soul as a Jew, my soul as a mother, my soul as a wife, my soul as a woman. And I was on vacation with my family, and we just, turned down, open our phones in the morning, saw what happened, and we decided to act. We say that, something had to be done to help, because we felt so sad and the pain is very intense, and we felt a bit helpless, especially when you're in Greece, you're not even in Israel, people around you don't understand what's going on, and the only comfort you can find is with the Israelis that are there. So
tell me about this impulsive intuition and urge to help and to be proactive and to take action. It's been coming up over this series quite frequently, and I'm particularly inspired by that intuition. Where does that stem from, or what does that mean for you?
So I told you, it started 9 years ago in Tzuk Eitan, and the urge was the fact that I didn't do anything for this country and I needed to be useful, okay? This time it was a mix of, if I'm not doing anything, I'm going to be crazy because I'm all day long on my phone. I'm seeing like terrific things. I'm hearing horrific stories, and I need to be in action. And the second thing was, everyone in Israel, every Jew was acting, and we wanted to be part of it. Like, we know that we can bring a lot, and we wanted to be part of the efforts and support and try to bring some relief, or at least some help, to all of the victims of this barbaric massacre.
Wow. Okay. And October 7th hits, and you're going to take action. The formation of standing behind our people. What was that? How did that transpire? How did you get together? How did you decide to do this? And operationally, what actually happened? How did you do it?
So I took the learnings of the crowdfunding campaigns I did for Tsukaitan, where we raised $200,000, and I had a couple of do's and don'ts. Okay, the do was act fast, get some virality. Okay, there's a momentum, you can get a lot of donation, and show the donors immediately the impact of what they're doing. Because when people know where the money is going, they donate more, and this is what's creating the virality. So that was for the do. The don't was don't rely on any external crowdfunding websites, okay? Because it's very difficult to use the money. There is a lot of admin stuff to do, and you don't have time for that when you work in chaos. And don't work alone, okay? You need a team, you need to be structured, and you need to build an organization very fast. So what happened is that when I decided to take this initiative, very quickly I gathered a couple of friends, okay? All of them have a tech background. So we were 6 founders at the time, and we decided to use a website builder to build our own website with our own payment solution. Within a couple of hours, the website was up and running. Someone wrote the content, someone built the UX. And then we started just, it took like 2-3 hours to get things up and running. We sent it to everyone on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and we launched it on Sunday, the 8th of October at 11 p.m. Monday morning,
Wow.
we woke up. Yeah, we didn't sleep, but we raised like 15,000 euro. After one day, 100,000 euros. And in 10
Whoa.
days, it was over 650,000 euros.
Holy crap, that's incredible. So you managed to get a group of people together under a unified mission, set the goals and the messaging and the positioning, set up the technological infrastructure, get it up and running within, I guess, about 36 hours from when it actually happened, and then actually get thousands of dollars in within the first day of this being live.
Yeah, that was crazy, but because the mobilization was crazy. I mean, every single person, every single Jew, not person, I was talking to was willing to help in a way. Everyone wanted to feel that, they could contribute to the effort. So the mobilization was incredible.
Wow. Okay, and so what? Tell me a little bit about the deployment strategy here, because I think that's an important aspect of what you're doing. This is not a traditional nonprofit raising money and then talking for a long time and then deploying it strategically in important areas, but often takes time. Here, I saw in the 2-pager you shared with me that you've deployed 80 to 90% of the funds already immediately to different. So tell me a little bit about that strategy and why you've chosen that strategy.
Yeah. So our short-term mission was really to provide concrete and immediate aid to the victims of the attacks and to the Israeli soldiers at the front line. Okay. And if you want to do that, you need to be efficient. So we really built an operation that is supported by a technology, not only the website builder, but also a tool that you particularly cherish that's called Notion. Okay, so we quickly equipped ourselves with the technology, and we built a process to make sure that we could become a hub to receive requests from soldiers, from NGOs, from civilians, and to process those requests as quickly and efficiently as possible. Okay, so what we did was basically to a 3-step process in order to make sure that we are reviewing and vetting the request. We wanted to make sure that the requests are legitimate, needed, and not addressed. Okay, so we had to verify for every request we receive. We verify the source of the request. We verify that there's an existing need. We go directly to the source. We don't work with any intermediaries. We coordinate with other major initiatives to source as much as the request as possible, because as you know, there have been a thousand of initiatives launched and there are a lot of duplicates. So we really developed a partnership strategy to make sure that we are sourcing as many things as possible. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that we're prioritizing the request. So we identify the most urgent request. Okay, we don't deal with comfort requests, we deal with urgent requests. And there are a lot of requests that are comfort requests, especially from soldiers, and we understand and we want them to be comfortable. But we're working in emergency, we're working in chaos, so we only deal with very urgent requests. And the last thing is,
By the way, how do you distinguish? I'm sure you have large volumes. How do you distinguish effectively between the requests internally, operationally?
and in terms of urgent, not urgent, or in terms of
Sure.
soldier urgent,
Yeah.
not urgent, for
Yeah.
every request that we receive, so we have a template in which we want to receive the request, including a lot of information that we need to get beforehand. Okay, if people are not filling the template, the request doesn't get matched. Sorry, but we need to work efficiently. So once we get this template, we have a point of contact. We have people calling the point of contact. So we have formed a group of ex-soldiers, ex-unit soldiers in different units that really can understand the need and assess the request. Okay, if someone is asking for 100, bags, we make sure that they need 100 and not 20. And most of the time, the quantity is not the same and that they really need it. So we call every single person and then we review the request and we know if it's urgent, not urgent based on that, because we have ex-soldiers assessing it.
Fantastic. That's phenomenal. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about the formation of the group and how you've aligned. You mentioned before a few times the importance of cohesion with the core team and working in a structured way. You can't do this alone. You have to do this as a team. What did you as a leader do during this time to get that to really streamline that process and to make it effective? I think that the output of what you've done speaks as a testament to the success of this cohesion of this core team. But what was the experience from your end in building this and creating this?
I think things kind of fell into place quite naturally. Okay, we had a pool of talents in very different areas, and what we did is that we structured the team into different departments. So I'm, managing the project, and I'm in charge of fundraising. My husband is in charge of partnership, and it was also a VP partnership in a startup, and now he's building his own startup. My best friend, who is also an ex-founder, she's the head of operation, and she's the queen of processes and Notion. Her brother is also the CEO of a startup and a very tech-savvy guy, so he's the head of R&D. And then we have a head of logistics and supply, okay, who is also a friend who is taking care of, all the suppliers and stuff. We have a head of branding. We have a head of growth. We have a head of HR, a head of legal. So we really try to take the expertise of each and to split it into different departments. And then every person is and owns their own department and recruits volunteers. So around that, we have a pool of 50 volunteers that help us in all kinds of different ways. It can go from content writing to delivering some items from one point to another. And they're very reactive and they're very involved. And this is how, all of this supported by the technology and this notion that we built that very customized to our needs, where we can track, centralize all the requests, see exactly what they're spending, centralize all the suppliers, pay the bills, and everything just falls into place and is very organized. I think this is why it's making our strengths. Like we're a product of the startup nation because we are all, tech entrepreneurs. And as startup founders, we've acquired extensive knowledge in working in chaos, in working in a fast-paced and rapidly growing environments, in adapting and pivoting very quickly, and most importantly, in achieving more with less. We all know that we never have enough resources and we need to achieve a lot. And I think all of these things just, were put together and contributed to the success of the campaign.
Alexandra, this is so inspiring and awesome. Really, what you've done in such a short amount of time, both as on firstly on the impact itself and the fact that you've been making such an extraordinary impact, tangibly, just from the very practical perspective. That's one, but then being able to do it so quickly, that's another element, and doing it with so many amazing people, so many amazing volunteers. And you've articulated a few times the importance of doing this in a structured process that you're particularly proud of, and then tying that together into the Startup Nation and the fact that we're all united. And I'm going back to the very beginning of our conversation where you talked about your personal sense of urgency to take action and to not be a bystander and to make an impact yourself. So Alexandra, thank you so much for all the amazing work that you do. It's October 24th now at the time of recording this, so we're about, I guess, 17 days after this whole thing started, and it's just crazy. So thank you very, very much for everything, and I'm wishing
Thank
you
you.
best of luck and continue making a great impact and inspiring us.
Thank you so much, Michael. Have a nice day.